All right, guys. Again, welcome. Welcome back. So, game 3 of the week. Steve, welcome. Good to have you. We had some exciting games today. Arsenal and
A
City,
pleasure.
title contenders from last season, both came out. Arsenal had a tough game today against Brighton. I don't know where to start with that one. I was kind of worried about Brighton, especially what they did to United. They seem to be playing a good football at the moment. But my fears came to
Yeah,
a little bit. We started cagey in the first half. The game wasn't moving quite well. It seemed like Brighton were putting a lot of pressure on us, even though we had more chances on goal. Their midfield is sharp. Their defense are quick. We just seemed a bit lethargic in there. Trossard started today, which I wasn't too happy about. I don't think Trossard's a starter. He seems to be a bit of like a super sub, at the moment. But we needed that
yeah.
Martinelli pace in that lineup. And of course, before the game, the big announcements that happened. Raheem Sterling. Raheem Sterling has moved to Arsenal. I'm a little bit conflicted about that, but I don't mind. I think Sterling's a quality player. I think he'll make a big difference. But back during the game, I think we did get a goal against the run of play. That took Brighton by shock. I mean, it was a good finish by Kai Havertz to get that.
They have it.
Um, but then after that, it just seemed like I don't know. I mean, Declan Rice, his head just didn't seem on today. He was just making like reckless tackles. He was going by the reckless maneuvers, and then just that first yellow card was like the signal. Something was coming in this match. Like you didn't know where it was going, but it seemed like there was a red card coming in this game. I didn't expect it to be Declan. He's kind of disciplined player in his position, and then that second yellow card, it just changed the game. You know, that stupid basic thing in football. Referee gives a free kick. You don't kick the ball away.
Don't kick the
You
ball.
know, you don't come in and just like take the ball and kick it off in the thingy. And then then Brian came back into the game. That young Brazilian, was it Brazilian? Is it Brazilian? Jardine or Jardine?
Joao Pedro,
Yeah, Chao Pedro. Is it
the guy
Brazilian
who
or
scored the
Portuguese?
win against Manchester United.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like
Yeah.
it was a simple ball by Dunk from the centre back. He just put a ball that went straight through the whole team, and it
Mm.
seemed like Saliba and Gabriel just got crossed head, came across each other, missed the striker. Just the first shot was a deflection, it was a good save, and then he came back to your boy who won the last game in the last minute, and then he got that equalizer. But then from then on, it just seemed like okay, all right, here we go. It's gonna be one of those games. But
Yeah.
Arsenal defended. But anyway, but let me not go too much into it. Let's hear you were out in town, so let's quickly hear what some of the fans had to say about this.
Arsenal has dropped point against Brighton. We've seen they've drawn 1-1 against Brighton. Do you think this is a setback as far as title challenge is concerned?
Yeah, this is a challenge. Is a setback because the same Brighton cost us some points. The past, not the previous campaign.
campaign.
The other one they beat us 4-1, and that one cost us the league.
Yeah.
Now this one is an Arsenal fan. I can say, in as much we had a red card, we were at home, and the level we were playing last season. Somehow this season we are a bit low. So if you don't check on those dropping point, another trophyless season. But Brighton, big up to them. They are really playing very beautiful football. I commend them for that. I commend their coach, and they have very good players. But for Arsenal, we didn't deserve to lose points because I think last season we beat them. Although it was a hard team, I can say the red card cost us, but also the possession and everything. We were not playing the football we are used to. So I think as an Arsenal fan, that one will matter. You remember last season, we dropped point at Fulham, and we dropped some point at West Ham, and now the Aston Villa was the last throw. But if we had won the match at Fulham, which we consider a small team or a rival team at London, we could have won the league because we were separated by just 2 points by Man City.
Okay, so that was them.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah,
them
that
here
was
about
them.
that. But you
So,
yourself, I mean, what did you think? I mean, because the end of the game did finish 1-1. Arsenal in the end, defensively, they had to be tough. It would have been good if they defended the 1-0, but it ended up being 1-1. In the end, we missed a lot of chances in the second half. We had to secure the game off to steal it, basically.
yeah.
A lot of chances. But from your point of
You know,
what would you take away from that result for Arsenal?
Last weekend when we were talking about Brighton got rid of their manager, De Zerbi, and brought the youngest manager to manage the Premier League. And he has a very young and talented
Yeah.
squad, and we can see his tactics are clearly working. The other weekend, they managed to beat Manchester United by a margin of 2-1, and Joao Pedro scored a late minute winner for them.
Yeah.
And everybody else out there was talking how poor Man United are. Today's match, we've seen Joao Pedro still scoring the equalizer. I think that red card for Declan Rice will cost Arsenal when it comes to the North London derby, because he's the best midfielder, defensive midfielder Arsenal has got for the at the moment. And
Yeah.
many Arsenal fans were calling out for Leandro Trossard to start the game, and they were excited. And clearly, the excitement was there, but he didn't get those chances that he really gets to score goals. But overall, I think that draw will get to cost Arsenal in terms of as far as title league is concerned. We've seen his main competitor, that is Manchester City. Today they've in their third game in a row. So I was a bit shocked when I saw Arsenal conceding that cheaply, considering the amount of defensive improvisation they have. They have the best defense in the league. Last season, they managed to get 5 players for the Team of the Year award. So I think moving forward, Arteta needs to, get back to the drawing board and get to see if he really needs to start Martinelli or rather Leandro Trossard. And another thing, they've brought in a quality player, Raheem Sterling. He's won 4 Premier League titles. I think he's going to be an additional to the squad. As far as we've seen the new Champions League format is out, there's so many matches, and Arsenal is competing in the Champions League, is competing in the Carabao Cup, still the FA, still the Premier League. So the teams right now need that squad depth, and the bringing on of Raheem Sterling, a quite experienced player. These are the players that Saka can learn from, and most of the Arsenal players can learn from because he has won the league there. And now we've seen Arteta bringing now the whole trio. That is the whole Man City trio. That is Sterling, Gabriel Jesus, and Zinchenko to Arsenal. So it's I think for me, I'm waiting to see what Sterling can do for Arsenal. But it's
I think
quite
he'll do.
positive addition.
I think he'll do. I think he'll do well. I think he'll do well. But I felt Arsenal were comfortable, man. Arsenal were comfortable after that 1-0. It seemed like, Brighton were more about possession, bouncing the ball from midfield. They weren't really penetrating. I mean, even the whole 90 minutes, even after the 10 red card, Brighton only still had 4 shots on target compared to us on 7 on targets. And, most of that came from us when we were down to 10 men. We could have killed the game off. I mean, I felt comfortable. That goal was like a little bit, woke the players up. And after that, it was just shut shop after that. Brighton had no way of penetrating or getting through that back defense, which from that game, what I take from that is just defensively how good Arsenal are, because I think if that was anyone else, Brighton would have gone on to win, because they would have gone on to win that game. But, I think Arsenal, considering the quality of Brighton, I think that 1-1, you'll take that at the end of the day. Third game of the season, you'll take that 1 point,
And playing with 10 men from the 49th minute, it's not easy.
Yeah.
Such a quality team as Brighton, if that was Chelsea, we could be having a different conversation right now. So I would give credit to Arsenal, especially their defensive side. They've really tried, having to able to accommodate or rather compile this pressure for the whole that is around another football half. So Arsenal, as far as concerned, and getting back to that draw, the Arsenal, Arteta said if they need to challenge for the title, they'll need to win all their matches. So mentally, I don't know how the players are feeling right now. I've heard Arteta talking about the level of refereeing. He's talking about consistency. He's saying there's a player who kicked the ball in the first half for Brighton, and he wasn't given a yellow card. But when it comes to Declan Rice, there is a yellow card. So this issue of refereeing, and it's not the first time players and referees and even coaches are complaining about the inconsistency at the level of refereeing in the Premier League.
No, but I think I think maybe I think it's too early for the managers to be complaining about referees now. I think everything's a bit, third game. I didn't really see much of. I mean,
Yeah, it's too early.
What Declan Rice did is like, yeah, it was a clear cut, just a cheeky kick a ball away. But I guess I mean, Arsenal did well, 2-1-1. That was the end of that one. Okay, so let's move over to the next game. But before we do, remember people, subscribe, please. Subscribe. You're helping this channel grow, yeah?